Let's take a look at how to install this downpipe. It's not like my usual install video because one, everything was done on the ground just to show that it can be done on the ground. It was a bit of a struggle. And then two, because I wasn't actually doing the work, I was having a hard time getting good angles and whatnot. So I apologize in advance if it looks terrible compared to what I normally can do. I will still kind of go around the car underneath myself to point some stuff out if the footage came out bad, and maybe I'll do that anyways. So that way at least you'll get a good idea of how to install it. It's pretty simple. Everything was done on the ground with 2 jack stands and 1 jack. Everything was done with hand tools, so you could do this at home by yourself if you wanted to. I would suggest you at least get a friend so you have 2 pairs of hands to help you get stuff or help you push and pry on things, or at least help you look and align stuff. Once it's installed though, it's pretty good. Like I know I could swap the pipe on, I could swap the second half of the pipe whenever I want, just in about 10 minutes. So the hard part is removing your pipe. So if you want to remove your pipe and you don't care about the original pipe, you can just kind of hack it to bits if you need to because it's stuck. Yeah, you could do that. It'll be easy to take it out if you do it like that. You can be a savage and just completely chop it apart. The hardest part is apparently the temperature probe being like 3 inches long for whatever reason. That thing gets in the way, and that's why the whole pipe can't drop out. So if you could just, I mean, if yours is stuck anyways, it's ruined. So if you just cut it with like bolt cutters or something, I don't know, I think it's metal, that might help you drop your unit out, and that'd be the easiest part. Because once you have yours out, you could do whatever you want to get the new one on. The new one's 2 pieces. Put the top piece on, line it up with your gasket, and then do the lower piece. Just keep it loose so you can align everything and bolt it together. Once you get everything tight, just crank it down, torque it down, and you're all set. So let's take a look at what I got for footage. I hope it turned out okay. Checking out the apple pie light here. When my cat got disconnected, this got removed, my light stayed on. So how do I fix the apple pie light? I'm looking at this plug. It is a single prong plug. The plug's right there, the white thing hanging down pointing towards me. I used the voltmeter and I tested it. I get about like 7 volts from there. I'm not looking for what the exact voltage is or whatever. I'm just trying to figure out how the probe works and disable it. How the thing used to work is all the exhaust gas would blow down this way, and if it got too hot and whatnot and melted your cap, whatever, it will trip this probe, thus probably breaking the connection, kind of like what I'm doing now with this disconnected. It would break the connection, thus light up the little apple pie light. I think the solution here is I'm gonna snip this off right here and put a terminal on it and just ground it to the frame. I made a little test jumper wire right here. It's just some scrap wire I had, and I stripped the ends off. It's kind of crude, but it works. I'm gonna put you on my dash here. With the key in the on position, all the lights come on, as expected. I'm gonna start the car, and you'll see all the lights disappear except for the apple pie. Oh, and the seatbelt, of course. I'm going to plug it in on the other side, and then bring you back to the plug side to show you what I did, and what the solution will be. And there we have it. The light is turned off. Let's get back down there and take a look. So you can see the little wire I have plugged into the white plug, and I just have it tapped onto the V-band right there. The exhaust makes for a decent ground just for this purpose. Turns off the light, and this is really good. So right here, I'm just gonna knock it out of here, take this out. Ow. Oh, and then my apple pie is ready. So get familiar with your area here. This is your turbo. The exhaust manifold goes into there. This is where the downpipe would be to exchange for my new Originality downpipe. You can see how it goes around the bend a little bit different, and it goes back down there. The stock one came right out and just went straight down. Sorry, it's kind of dark in there, but you should be familiar somewhat. So things you need to remove when you're up here. As long as everything goes smoothly, this installs fairly quickly. I would say probably under 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours, depending on your skill of
your mechanical skills. Ooh, I have a coolant leak over there. Okay, so what needs to be removed for ease of dismantling is this bracket right here. You know what, I'm gonna get a flashlight. Right here, I can show you what needs to be removed. You're gonna temporarily remove the engine mount right here. There's one bolt on this side. I think there might be a nut or a bolt head on the other side. There are, see right there, the gold bracket. This basically, you're gonna remove this little loop bracket right here, just to disconnect it from the engine to get you the most space to remove your downpipe. If you can remove your downpipe in 2 sections where you disconnect the catalyst from the pipe, you might have a better time. And if you're not looking to salvage anything, you may probably be able to skip over this process just by hacking stuff off. Like if you cut your pipe open and if you cut the exhaust probe on the other side, because it's more than likely fused on. It really doesn't matter if you ruin it. And unless you're looking to keep the original part for whatever reason, there's really no reason to keep the stuff unless you just want to have the extra part. I have video that I shot with the camera that was in there, but I'm just going to go over it right here. There are 4 bolts that hold this flange to the turbo. You can access all 4 right here. You may be able to get the inner one on the bottom right one. So you may be able to get that one from below, but on this particular install, it was all done from up here. Make sure you take it easy when you try to back these bolts out. In case something is seized for some reason, take your time. Use penetrant. Just turn the nut back and forth, or turn the bolt back and forth, just so you don't break it. In my case, I added probably an hour or 2 to my install time because I had to remove the turbo. Well, I didn't do it, but the guys had to remove my turbo because the bottom right bolt broke. That was a pain, and it wasn't horrible, but you know, it's a big time suck. So remove the O2 sensor. It's just a nut up here, and then you would be able to start to take apart your downpipe from up here. You would then go underneath. You'll have to disconnect your heat temperature probe. You'll find it, you can just follow the wire into here. It is a green wire with a yellow stripe on it, it looks like. It's the only white plug like that right around here. Push down on the clip, pull it out. Then you will have the exhaust temperature probe. It's kind of like it just stuck out. You can disconnect 3 bolts. You can disconnect the 3 bolts from the downpipe, and you might be able to wiggle this out. This is what I was talking about. This sticks out so far. If you don't care about this thing anymore, just cut it. This will probably help you remove this much quicker than we did, because we tried not to break anything when we did this. Afterwards, everything will come out of this hole right here. It's like the car is giving birth to this pipe coming out of here, you know. So that will be removed, and your exhaust will be hanging a little bit. Maybe support it so your exhaust tips don't hit your bumper. My particular tips will fold up and hit the bumper. As you can see, my bumper's a little bit rubbed up. I don't really care because the whole respray thing. All right, so I think that's it. Once you have the original one out, you've already done more than half the work. To install Originality, you would then just bring everything back up here, get your new gasket, line it up here, put the bolts through, torque down your bolts, put your O2 sensor back in, take your 2 strips of heat shielding and attach them to your shifter cables here, because those 2 are the only things close to this. This stuff is like magic. It's supposed to keep all the heat off of whatever it is and protect whatever's inside. And then you will have this upper section down to there without the band, without the lower. Then go underneath the car. Oh, sorry, before you go underneath the car, you want to put your engine mount and everything back in if you took these things out. There's 2 bolts on this side, there's 2 bolts on that side, and there's the mount itself. You may need some help with a jack to help move the engine a little bit to line all the bolts up. It was easier to line up the side bolts first and then do the center bolt, I believe. I'll have to review the video there. Do not torque everything down until you have everything lined up. So kind of just put everything a little bit loose so you have some wiggle room to move things as you need. This pipe was designed so nothing had to be grinded or shaved or whatnot. Everything should pass by as is without any mods to the car itself. Once you get the upper one connected with loosely fitted, get the V-band, connect your lower half that you have, and just get it kind of like snug enough where it won't fall apart and it would just kind of stay in place. You want that little bit of slack so you can align everything down here. Next part will be getting your new hardware and connecting the flange with your exhaust pipe. You're going to find your exhaust flange not to be the same size as the downpipe. It is okay. You just want to center this thing and then tighten it down. The gasket is big enough to cover up the entire hole because both holes are exactly the same size.
For here, you're pretty much only doing the top bolts, and if you want to do it that way, you can take out the motor mount from here, and then everything else is from the bottom, because it's realistically only like what holds only the downpipe is only
The four
four
bolts
here, and then I think it's either 2 or 3 down there, and that's really it.
Can you only access? I mean, you can only access the top 2 from up here.
I mean, you could probably reach.
You do 3. I'm not sure you could do that back one in the rear there. You have to remove the O2 sensor up here first, I guess.
Yes.
And then where's the motor mount?
That would be this here. That kind of makes a U shape around it.
How many bolts is that?
I think it's 2 and then 2 on the other side.
Okay. All right. And then that's it for up here, and then we'll go down
pretty much from
underneath.
up here. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
It's not that difficult.
It's
Especially if you have like this window here, this actually helps a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Ow, my knuckles. That hurt a lot.
Yeah, that happens.
It brought the whole stud with me.
Yeah.
And that can stay like that. Are you moving? You're not. Alright, back to the top we go.
So the thing you're removing now is that black bracket that surrounds the
Yeah,
the
this
pipe.
right here.
Okay.
Goes around it.
And the engine mount is the center bolt
The
that I
engine
see.
mount itself is this here.
Yeah, I see a bolt there. Did you undo a
Yeah,
nut?
there's just a like a stud,
Mhm.
and then there's a nut in the washer that goes on it.
So that got removed?
Yes.
Okay. So you want the mount to lift off of the stud?
Yeah, I'm trying to lift like the engine like up this way a little,
Mm-hmm.
so I can just have that little bit of clearance to move everything out. Just a little bit. There we go.
Did it move a little?
A little bit.
I didn't see anything. Oh yeah, here it is.
Man, you are free. Alright, maybe a little bit more.
Do the bolts under on the crossmember where the catalytic converter goes through? Does that need to be removed?
I don't know. We did it without it, but I might have to do it just to make life easier right now.
Because when the engine was being jacked up more, it started lifting the whole car.
Yeah. We might just do that just to make life easier.
Oh, I found my light.
They don't have to be removed. I assume they just have to be loosened a little bit.
We can probably take them out too. I think at the last time at the end we just ended up taking them out.
Okay. Is this the part where the sway bar has to come apart too?
Usually not. It has a little bit of room,
You have like 3/4 inch right there.
but I might just loosen it all up a little to make life easier for us to putting things on and off. If I pull this down.
Yes.
Got it out?
Not yet, but it's out of the holding place. Hold on. You got it? I'll drop it.
Yes.
Alright. We may continue.
Can you try to shine a little more on them? Yep, this is that. Thank you. Oh, yeah, this is gonna snap off. Yeah. So. Yep.
Success?
No, no success. Fortunately. Yeah, hold up. So one piece.
There it is.
Yeah, hold up. So one piece. That we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
This opening right here. So this opening is where all the parts come through. Some through here, but usually the lower piece, the catalytic converter piece, comes through this opening.
Yeah.
So when the pipe is in one piece, this hits the part of the opening, the exhaust temperature sensor.
Yeah.
So that's why.
It's because it's like 3 inches long.
Yeah, it's pretty tall. So that's definitely that. All right. Well, we're all apart, which is great. Now we're just gonna have to figure out what to do with the broken bolt.
Is it visible or is it like embedded?
The bolt that was broken.
So this has to be a two-part.
I think so. I'll double check. I'll start with this, and then because when we were test fitting it originally, I think we did it in 2 pieces, so we'll see.
I'm not sure it would actually matter if it had to go on 2-piece or a single piece.
It's easy with the V-band compared to like alright, cool. So
No, I'm stuck. Why am I stuck? You're gonna fall on your head, bro.
I need to loosen these bolts a little bit. It's a 14, and then we'll be able to fit it in. All right, after that, should be easy. Yeah.
the bottom one?
What, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes from the inside though, right?
Yes.
From here?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not lined up.
You need a pry bar to push.
Well, I can't do both at the same time. That's why I said, are those loose?
Yeah. But you gotta, the whole engine needs to go that way, like towards the back of the car.
What?
Hold on.
So you need to jack it up then?
Yeah.
Which way do you need to go? The bracket needs to go higher. I can see the bottom of the bolt.
Okay.
It's a really awkward spot for me to look. It looks pretty good over here. Looks like you got it. Did you get it?
Yeah. Where's the other one? But ding ding ding. So now, let's not tighten it all the way yet. The pipe.
Yeah.
Until we know that we're good everywhere else. You know what I mean? So just snug it up a little, and have it a little bit of room. Can you please give me the 1/4 inch had an 11mm deep socket? I need that.
You have the ratchet?
I do.
Oh, you just need the socket.
Which way would be easier? This way? I'm just trying to think to tighten it. Or
The bolt head. Like
this way?
That way.
Oh, this way's okay too, huh?
Yeah.
So now, can you please give me no a different one? Look. Yeah, I mean it all fits up though good, which is good. We're just gonna have to tie this guy up to here, and everything else seems pretty straightforward. All right, so we have to. I need you to tighten the downpipe to the turbo. Nice and tight. So now, after we tighten the downpipe up top, we'll just tighten the V-band, and then the very last one would be the 2 bolts here for the exhaust. Just trying to see what's kind of the best processes, and you know what I mean, lining it all up.
This extension might be a little bit too big.
The 2 bolts for the muffler there.
Yeah.
The flanges are not the same size, so what's the best? Like, how do you know the gasket is centered?
So I'm just gonna base it off this,
Of the bottom
of the big flange,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna, obviously this is a little bit by eye,
Yeah.
but this gasket is the true size to this flange on the downpipe.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna line it up here first, and after that I'm gonna take this piece and I'm gonna try to center it as much as I can here.
Okay.
And after that I'm gonna tighten it, start it, and make sure it doesn't leak, and then go from there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But center the gasket here first, and center this piece onto the bigger piece, and then kind of tighten it and see how it is and go from there. It's a little bit, you know what I mean? It's just because they have slotted holes. So you can technically, that gasket is so big, it should absorb, even if you put it on like this a little, the gasket should absorb the, because the contact area of the gasket is everywhere. Even if you bolt it a little off to one side or another, it should still not cause any sort of an exhaust leak.
Okay.
But this is like the final, you know what I mean? Now we're gonna see, now we're gonna have it on a car running so we can test out. We're gonna start it up. We can see if it leaks by the V-band, anything. If it leaks here, make sure it's so tight, make sure there's no leaks by the 4-bolt. So it's pretty, you know, make sure it's working exactly what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
So that's the next step. Grazie.
Put the O2 sensor back on.
Yeah, you need that.
Huh?
You know the Brazilian kid, the one Netflix hyperdrive?
Oh, Diego Higa?
Yeah, he bought Ryan's car from Colt from Redline Restorations.
I did not know that. The plug should be on the bottom
For what?
for the O2 sensor.
Yeah.
Somewhere right there.
Oh,
Right
that's
here.
all. Oh, you want me to plug it in?
I mean, I can't plug it in.
It's fucking gonna cost you, dude.